But here's the thing that I did, I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. I personally think that it's entirely, me not being aware about what's going on. So what happened is,
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the End Show. Yes, how you guys have been doing? I hope you guys are doing great. And yeah, as usual, stay tuned to find out who our guest is. Alright, guys, welcome back. Yeah, and today we have a very good friend of mine, Aloysius, here joining with us today. Alright, maybe you want to introduce more about yourself?
yeah, thank you so much, Nawin. And hi, everyone. My name is Aloysius. I am 19 years old this year. And now I'm currently studying my degree on chiropractic. And also, at the meantime, I'm also pursuing my side careers, which is being a performer, a dance performer, and Sichuan mass changing performing and other performances. And also, at the meantime, I'm also constantly learning more about more about the financial side. And basically, I have this habit of learning already. So in a way, yeah, I know a few things here and there. So yeah, thank you, Narin, for having me.
Alright, you're here, and thank you also for joining us for this week episode. Yeah, and basically, wow, I see that you have been doing a lot of stuff, yeah. Right. So actually, anything that you're up to recently?
Yeah, yeah.
Like lately, what are you up to?
Oh, lately I'm actually up to basically learning how to manage my own money because as usual lah. Initially, what I personally was taught before learning all of this is like, okay, so I need to go and study well and then get a job or start a business. Then I earn a lot of money. Then I probably save up some money and then that's it. I retire and that's all. Like I actually didn't know how to actually gain financial freedom or be a millionaire or any of those things. Until lately, only I started to take in courses. I started off with taking investment courses, which is learning how to invest, specifically learning how to do value investing, which is the type that Warren Buffett does, which is the long-term type of thing. I haven't learned how to trade, which is those kind of like Forex or gold. No, I didn't learn that. I am more towards the long-term and in a way, it's an easier way because doing gold and forex, you need to be constantly looking at the market. But as of value investing, it's not always looking at the market. It's more on studying mainly on the business. I started off with that. Then after that, now I moved on to actually learning how to manage my finances because I think that it's crucial that even if let's say that I have a lot of money and I invest and I make more money, but if I don't know how to manage my finances, I don't know how to arrange and use them correctly, I can actually lose them all when something big happens. So that's why I'm starting to learn all of this lah. Yeah.
Wow, nice. So you have been actually improving your financial education.
Yes.
Yeah, same goes as me. Lately, I've been reading a lot about like financial education books from Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki. Yeah.
If you know him, you know, man. I think you should know him, right? Basically, like when we talk about like financial stuff, basically everyone knows him, like about his knowledge and stuff like ESBI, cash flow quadrant, and everything. Yeah. All right, guys. Just so you know that this week episode we'll be actually talking about life. Yeah, like life lesson and stuff. So we're gonna me and Aloy are gonna recap our life and have a reflection on our life. And yeah, you guys can join us to answer that question as well. All right.
Yeah.
So let's start with the first question. Okay, so as you look at your life so far, okay, were there any like turning points, any key event or experience that changed your life, and set you on a different track? And what happened and what did you learn from it?
Okay, that's a very good question. Personally for me, I feel like I'm very blessed because being born in a not very rich family, but a family where we can actually choose the things that we can do and we don't have to worry so much about money. My dad has a very stable job and his income is pretty good. So being born in this kind of family, I am blessed with all of the things I need. I have a house. I don't need to worry about my education. And even until now, my all of my university fees are paid by my dad. So personally, my life has been really really blessed. But if you're talking about turning points, yes, of course, there isn't a huge turning point. There is no, for me, there isn't a moment where I really dropped until I really was like I could be homeless or really really struggling with money. I'm glad and I'm very lucky that I didn't fell into like that part into life. But actually, I noticed that I do have some turning points, and specifically is when I start to learn, because actually, I mean, this is basically a very broad saying. I'm not sure who said it, but basically, we need to have this habit of learning until we die. Because if we stop
Yeah.
learning, then basically we will just be stuck in the same place. And indirectly, when you're stuck in the same place and the society is improving, technology is improving, everything is improving. In the end, staying at the same place is equivalent to you actually dropping back and not no longer improving anymore. So personally, when I keep learning new stuff, that's where a turning point starts. It's the same thing as, for example, let me take my recent, what do you call it, my recent learnings, which is basically on finance. Because initially, before that, okay, what I thought is, okay, so, I could just enjoy my university life. Then when I come out, I will just work or I will start my own business. And yeah, basically that's it. But from learning all of these finance courses, I start to know that, hey, wait, no, I cannot just save, because you see, there is something called inflation. This is like economic stuff.
Yep.
But basically, the value of money will drop. So
Yeah.
if you just save, you will need to save a lot more if you want to be, have a good life when you retire. That's one case. Another case is, the way you spend. A lot of people, when they start to earn more money, what happens? Their spending also increases at the same time. So it's also equals to they don't have enough money for other stuff. So in the end, if anything happens, poof, the money also will go gone case. So this is where moments where I actually hit and I'm like, oh damn, okay, so these are the things that I actually don't know. And now because I know, I can actually work on changing my mindset. And because when I change my mindset, I start to change my actions. And when I start to change my actions, in the end, the results I get will be definitely different. So I say that, when I start to learn, when I learn new things every time, that is always a turning point. It may not be a big turning point, but it's very crucial to actually turn and make sure that I am actually improving myself instead of staying in the same spot. Yeah.
Wow, that was great, man.
Thank you.
Right, yeah. And I've saw this thing online where they said you you're not you're only old if you stop learning.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to say for me, like my turning point, it will be so far like in my life, I would say during last year MCO.
Mm.
Yeah. And during last year MCO, I was quite bored at home and nothing to do. And I'm actually in a sales and marketing company. Yeah, I think you know.
Yep.
I won't say
Mm-hmm.
any. I won't say what's the company name. So
Yep.
we have like like where we focus a lot of like on self improvement thing. And one day I'm just like, okay, let's pick up and book and read. Never in my life have I ever thought that I will be reading, because I never like
That's
I never like reading. I never liked reading before, and never have the intention or any motive to like take up and book and read, because I feel that it's
mm.
very boring. But
Correct.
during that last year MCO, I started taking this book. It was my first book that I ever read, like, and I found very interesting. It's by Robert Kiyosaki as well. It's actually by Robert Kiyosaki and Donald Trump. And
Mm.
that book is called Why We Want You to Be Rich. So that book, yeah,
Oh.
that book is about financial education and as
Mm.
well. And like you say, like why can't we save money and stuff is because of this and that. Yeah, I also
Yep.
think that learning, reading book, taking things up and read, and like keep on improving has really turned my life as well. Yeah, since like
Indeed.
last year, I'm quite grateful that I gave myself an opportunity to like take out the book and finish it. Yeah, and I
Yep.
finished the book in like a week or so. It was because it was
Mm.
really interesting. And after that, I've started like reading a lot of books. So I think that was one of my
Mm.
turning point. And whenever I read, I feel like I can imagine a lot of like stuff and going on. And yeah,
Yes.
reading has really changed my life. And I think that's my turning point, where I open my mind to like a lot of new stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Damn, that's good
nice.
to hear, man.
Yeah,
Nice.
but I mean, I think that we have a common thing, which is we are learning about finance. Oh my.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah,
good. It's good that we are aware because
yeah,
some people at our age usually, like if like as you say like maybe if it wasn't for MCO, we will still be doing our
yeah,
things, and then in the end we'll be caught up in all of the
yeah.
stuff that we care about, and in the end we will actually miss out this part where this is actually very important for our future. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree too. Where like financial education plays a huge part in every person life. Yeah, I would like to recommend a book for you guys. It's Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. If you guys want to start reading or what, you guys go and get that book. It will really change your life as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, hey, talking about that, yeah, I suddenly had an idea, because
Yeah.
have you played cash
Yeah,
flow game before?
I have the board here. It's up there only.
The board. Hey,
I
let's
have the board.
let's play one day, and then anyone that watches this also, let's find a day to play.
Yeah, let's go. Do we have the board? Do we have the board? Do you have
Yes,
the
yes,
board?
I do. Also,
Yeah.
I do.
Nice try. Nice
Yeah,
try.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's a good game to
Yeah.
actually really spark that thing where
Mm.
you start to lead you into this finance stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the board is like actually basically teaching about the rat race and everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Nice. Wow, that was a nice session there. All right. So as you know, many people have like have had deeply like difficult or stressful situations or experience, but learn a very valuable lesson.
Mhm,
Have you encountered any of those like very stressful,
mhm,
very yeah? Maybe you can share with us.
mhm. Okay, stressful situations.
Yeah, but you can like but you learn something from it.
Hmm, okay. That's a very good question. Never thought of
Mm.
that before. Okay,
Mm.
but I would say that uh if you were to talk about very stressful situations, I would say that I mean I to me I take it and I look at it as it's a blessing. And to be more specific, I do have it's in a way you can call it strict parents. You can call that strict parents, but for me, I would take it as parents that really care for me and they really want me to look into my future because when my parents basically when any parents specifically the so-called stereotype is where Asian parents we have
Mm.
high expectations specifically in results, but actually not just in results lah. In my case, it's actually my parents have a high expectation of my behaviors, my attitude, my yeah. Basically, it's being a human being. They have a high expectation of me being good or at least a decent human being on actually being improving myself or giving back to the society or constantly learning and this kind of positive thinking stuff. And yes, it is stressful is because when parents care, sometimes they would actually use different ways to actually lead me into doing those things. So initially, of course, sometimes when I personally I don't feel comfortable doing it at first, yes, I would definitely feel stressed and I would definitely feel like, hey, why you want me to do this? I don't want. This is not what I want. For example lah, all I want to do is just have some fun. But the thing is now you're stopping me and just because you want me to learn. Like why? Why? I want to enjoy ma. But the thing is, eventually as these things happen, so one time and two times and three times, and after this, I start to actually look. I start to actually see something. Okay, that's when I was like in my teenage years. Now that I'm slightly a little bit like 1 year older, 19 years old, now I look back and I see that wait, actually because of all of this so-called stress that is given to me, I actually personally I feel like I stand out a little bit in my friends, and I stand out not as in like being proud or as in anything. I stand out as in I feel like I actually learn so many things and I'm exposed to so many things as compared to some of the people, some of my friends at my age. Some of them they could have just started learning about this, where maybe I already exposed to these kind of things when I was like what maybe 13, 14 years old, I already start to expose myself into these things. So personally, I think that yes, there are stressful moments when, for example, in one case, is my parents have high expectations of me, and second thing is when I couldn't find what I really want. That's a stressful moment for me because there are so many things, and I'm just being like, okay, I enjoy this, but the thing is this what I really want? What's the future for this? So when it comes to that, I will start to stress out myself. But of course, in the end, after converting the stress into actually motivation and energy to actually push myself to create something and fix a goal or focus on something, and that's where the stress becomes something beautiful, and it actually creates this momentum to allow me to actually improve and get better and better, and being more and more exposed to the outside world. Yeah.
Wow. And
yeah, that's basically.
yeah, and we have another thing in common as well. Same like you, I was really like stressed because I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life as well.
Correct. Yeah.
It was the
Yeah,
same for
I
me.
think basically
Yeah,
a lot of young
yeah,
people. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like as like we grow up, like 15, 16, 17 years old, we start to like have a bit of awareness or worry about our future, and we start to get all this stress, like, hey, what am I gonna do? What do I really want in life? So that was also a very stressful situation for me. And one more thing was because someone told me this. So just let me share with you what this person has told me. He told me, he just gave me just gave me an analogy, not analogy, like a story, like to find my purpose. So he says, imagine one day you woke up late. First thing, you woke up late. Second thing, you cannot find your wallet. Third thing, you go in your car, right? Then, oh, traffic jam. After that, fourth thing, you go to your office, right? Your boss scold you because you're late. And then you stomach pain and jam also. So how would you feel that time? How would you feel? How would you feel? How would you feel? Damn, cannot,
like
right?
a shit hole, bro.
Yeah, it's like the whole day is like, she's damn shit, right? But imagine on the same day you won a $1 million lottery. How would you feel? It's okay. Woke up late. It's okay. Wallet lost. It's okay. It's okay. Traffic jam. It's okay. Stomach pain. It's okay. Part of life. Boss go here. Boss chill. You know why? Because you know that you got 1 million, right? Then you know that you can control your own future. So he asked me, do you know that $1 million $1 million lottery in my life? I'm like, I froze for a moment, like, oh yeah, do I have it? No, I'm like, oh yeah, do I have it? No, like, what is the thing that will make you fight through no matter anything happen? Like, it's okay, very true. So since that time he told me that, I've been actually still finding my $1 million lottery lah. Until today, I'm still fighting, like mix and match here, trying things out, and just basically explore more things. So I'm really grateful he told me that story. It really opens my mind. Yeah. And
indeed, I agree with that story. Yeah. It's actually talking about basically finding what we're passionate about, so that we can actually, if we're passionate about something, then basically nothing can destroy that passion.
Yeah, and nothing can stop you, man.
Correct.
All right, let's move on to next. So, what actually, right? Because okay, I from what I see, you got a lot of things going on in your life. You got college, you got like you're learning finance, you're doing the performance, you're a dancer, you switch the mask. What actually inspires you to work hard and achieve all these things, all these goals? What actually inspires you to, hold on, whereas you can be like a normal teenager, normal 19 years old kid, just go to school, study, come back. But why, what inspires you to, like, do so many things and like keep on learning? What inspires you to do that?
Okay, another great question. All right. Talking about this, I think I will relate it to two things. Okay, one is definitely one of the it's the most important education that I think that it's a reminder for me for my future, and also to anyone that's listening, this is also very important. That I think that education is super important. And the thing is, the moment when we are born and everything, a large part of uh, your baby life and all of your all of your attitude and the way you do things, right, is most likely affected and most likely influenced by basically family education. So I would say that I'm actually again, I feel very blessed. It's because I grew up with my parents. They actually brought me up very well. They are the ones that pushed me and exposed me into all this performing stuff, constantly learning. So yes, in the end, it's really family education, because if you see, if let's say if your family members they all actually grow up and every day you see them taking a book and read, so automatically you will take up a book and you start reading, because that's the effect of your environment. But if let's say when you grow up and your parents, they actually, every evening when they come back, they just watch TV. So automatically what you would do is actually you will watch TV as well, because that's what we see, and what we see is what goes into our brain, and automatically it will start to become a part of our life. So I think the first thing that it inspires me and motivates me is having my parents to actually lead me, and they show me, they are the ones that show me, and they are the ones that lead me on to these are the things that I'm doing to improve my life. So this they set a good example for me, and when they are a good example, automatically I will start to follow them. And this is where my inspiration and motivation comes from. It comes automatically. Of course, this is one thing that if let's say you are born in a family like that, but even so, even if your family members, they are those that actually, after a long day of work, they really need to de-stress. So they have no choice. They really need to, rely on TV, that's fine. But the thing is, that's where self-awareness comes in. That's where, when you start to think, what do you want in life? Are you actually, do you want to, work for a whole day and you come back and de-stress? Is that the life you want? It's fine. There's no right or wrong. But in the end, it's important that, we all spend some time to actually think about it, like what we actually want in life. That's the first thing that inspires me and motivates me, which is family. And the second thing is also basically getting and learning from outer source. I'm not sure if you know this motivational speaker. He's super duper famous. He's worked with a tons of stars and artists and a lot of famous people. I believe you know who Tony Robbins is. If you want to learn, you want to improve your life, as attitude way, motivation, mindset, and basically, all of the general things to make yourself, feel happier in life, go ahead and spend some money to actually go for Tony Robbins course. Especially now, I think I'm lucky is because of due to the COVID-19 case, Tony Robbins actually changed his courses into online, which allows us, to actually attend his course even in our homes and without actually, spending a lot of money to actually fly to the US or, overseas. And, the cost is way lower now. So because of learning from him, one of the actually, says that actually, inspire, he's the one, he has this, how do you say, like basically, he's a motivator, and ultimately when you attend these kind of courses, they give you so many types of mindsets and a way of thinking to actually make yourself like, hey, there my life, I could live my life, improve my life. And that's where you actually start to get inspiration from all of these types of thinking to actually push yourself forward automatically. So I would say the second type is also source out from someone, for example, a motivational coach or a life coach that can actually, keep track on your life and actually, ensure that you keep the motivation, because it's human nature that after a while, our motivation will burn down. So that's where we actually need to find ways to relight the fire, in a way, relight the fire and basically turn the motivation up again. So yeah, I believe that, motivation, all this kind of stuff, it can come from myself if, let's say, I can find a very strong reason. But if not, always think of ways to actually expose yourself to these motivational coaches or surround yourself with a group of friends. For example, Narwin, you yourself, you are actually together if in an environment where all of the people in your group, they are also hungry to learn. So this is a very good method to actually keep yourself motivated. Because if you are alone, very, very easily, I believe that out of 10 people will definitely, the fire will start dropping down and dying down. So definitely, it's very important to surround yourself with the circle or with the environment or attend a course. So I believe that that's the main point on how I get my motivation and inspiration. So how about you, bro?
For me, it was the same. I feel like we have so much in common, bro.
Yeah.
For me, it was the
That's
same.
good.
I also do have like my own motivator coach. I don't know. He's quite famous. His name is Simon Sinek. If you know him, do you know
Yes.
him?
Yes,
Simon
yes,
Sinek. Yeah,
yes.
I watch a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Simon Sinek video, and I've read Simon Sinek's book before. Start with Why, and
Mm,
why leaders eat last. Man, these two
mm,
book is a very. Do you know about that
very
book?
good.
Do you know about that book?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I do.
it
Yeah,
was really a mind blowing
very
thing
good.
for me, and Simon Sinek have been like really impacted me a lot. Simon Sinek, yeah, thinking about
Mm.
it, and it's a funny story how I know like Simon Sinek. It's a actually very funny story. So
How?
how I know this guy about Simon Sinek? Actually, I did not know him. I don't even know who is
Mm-hmm.
he. So one day I just went to Google and like uh purpose of life, and
Ah.
I went to image. The first thing I saw it was Simon Sinek. So I'm like,
Mm.
hey, who is this guy? Then I started like research Simon Sinek and stuff. And lah, now what's happening, right? Like Google have a link with YouTube, and whatever you search will come up, right? So on my YouTube,
Yes.
right, on my YouTube, right, it was one of Simon Sinek's video, and it was start with
Mm.
why. Yeah, it was the Golden Circle by Simon Sinek. Do you know the Golden
Mm.
Circle?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I clicked in that video and it totally changed my life. It really like opened up like the way
Mm.
I see things. So it was really like coincidentally, I don't know, or maybe fated lah, right?
Yeah.
Another person I would like to shout out if you're watching this video is Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gary
Why?
V.
How? What happened?
Gary
Mm.
V. He's a very he's kind of like straightforward person. Do you know who's Gary V?
I've actually heard him before. I think I remember the face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gary V is
yeah,
another.
but I
Yeah,
remember, yes,
yeah.
he's
It's
very
also, yeah.
straightforward type of, like, he
He's
just
a
straight
very,
away,
yeah.
like,
He's very straightforward, and
yeah, yeah,
that's I like his
yeah,
attitude very much, and his
right,
journey, his journey very quite inspires me, huh? And maybe, yeah, same like you. That's the first thing why I work so hard is because like I keep on listening to all these like motivational speakers and stuff, and it really built up the fire in me. And man, I want to like accomplish stuff. And also a few YouTube channel that I watch for like productivity is Ali Abdal and Karma Medic. Yeah, you guys can go and check them out. Yeah, they are both medical students, and they are like productivity beasts, and it just makes you want to feel like want to accomplish things. Okay, the second thing which inspires me to work hard and achieve my goals is actually my purpose of life. Yeah,
right, yes, yes,
it's because that I know that this thing it's all related to my purpose of life and why I want to accomplish this. I know the reason why I do everything right now in my life. So I think that's why I don't feel anything wasted. I don't feel that I waste any of my time because I know that this
yes,
I know my why lah. I know my purpose lah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And
yes,
funny
that's
thing,
good.
yeah, and funny thing, I have another like analogy or another story to share with you
Mm,
about the purpose of life. Okay, I will give you a few items and you choose which one you want. The first
okay,
thing is a soap, okay,
so,
a bread, a bread,
bread,
yeah, a bread,
mm-hmm.
okay, a new iPhone,
Yeah, yeah, eat bread.
a new iPhone, okay, and a cheesecake. Which one would you choose?
Cheesecake.
Yeah, which one would you choose?
Wait, do I only have to choose one or can I choose all?
Choose one, choose one. Yeah,
Choose one.
choose one.
Choose one, definitely I'll go for the iPhone, bro.
Definitely, right? Definitely, you will go for the iPhone, right? But my question
Definitely
is,
go for the iPhone, bro.
what do you use to wash your body? Definitely a soap, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you definitely you'll be thinking, hey Naveen, are you crazy? You asked me to choose an answer without knowing the question. And here goes, let me ask you, do you know the question to everything that you're doing?
Yeah. Yes. This is like a live homework that We need to start thinking about it. Yeah, then.
And this funny thing is, this story is another person told me as well, and it also changed my mind completely over that. Yeah. So he just asked me, do you know the question to everything that you are doing? I'm like, I froze there. I'm like, makes sense. So
Yes.
yeah, and after that, my life has really like, turned a lot of things like change because of that few question and stories has really opened my mind. Yeah, so basically it's just these two thing. Yeah, it's just these two thing. It's firstly is the environment, like motivational speaker. All these are environment, like who the people I surround with, what are the things that I put in my head and stuff. All right, wow, I think that was a great one. A lot of stories.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I think let's move on. All right. So the next question is, what is something minor or seemingly insignificant in your life that actually contributes greatly to your happiness?
Okay, that's a very good question. All right. Well, asking about that question, this is a very good question. It also just reminded me about something, which is, I don't know about most people, but at least personally for me, what tends to happen is, sometimes when I get too used to having something. For instance, let's just give an example. For instance, for now, I just got my new AirPods. So for example, during the first month, okay, well, I'm damn happy. I got new AirPods. I can actually use it. Wow, it feels so cool and stuff like that. Wow, the first month, okay. And then starting from the third month, AirPods, I don't want it. Now got AirPods 3D. Can I upgrade? And then until the 6 months, maybe this is probably thrown somewhere already. And then I actually don't really care about it anymore. So I think, at least personally for me, I feel like it's some habit that I have, or actually maybe that I'm not sure about you or the other people listening. But actually what happens is, when we get too used to having something, sometimes you actually take it for granted. That's actually something that, it's a good reminder for me. So sometimes actually, a lot of things contribute to my happiness. For instance, the smallest things as to being able to wake up in the morning. This is actually something that we all should be happy about. Like, hey, I'm a normal human being. I can breathe. I can see. My heart is beating. I should be happy about it. For example, wow, because of MCO, my parents, actually can help. I can cook together with my parents. I should be happy about it. These are the little things that actually contribute to my happiness. But the thing is, what happens is when these things happen too often, we start to take, I start to take advantage of it. And that's what I feel like, okay, I have this, I don't have this, it doesn't matter lah. What? But actually, this question reminds me that, actually having every single thing, actually, there's two aspects that I would say that there's two things that pop into my mind, which is first, yes, always have a heart of being grateful. Because actually, when you're being grateful to every single thing that you have with me or with you, you can actually notice that my life is beautiful. And ultimately, you will be happy because your state of mind is like, wow, I'm having so many things. I'm having and I'm enjoying such abundance. But let's say that if, we start to actually take things for granted, we don't appreciate things, then in the end, we complain very easily. Wow, we say like, wow, why you only get me AirPods 1? Why cannot get me AirPods 2 or AirPods Pro? That's when we start complaining and immediately we'll start to be unhappy in life. So that's one aspect, I would say. And second thing, that talking about being happy in life, you also reminded me of a video that I actually watched before. I actually forgot who was the person that created this video, or at least who is the philosopher or of this thinking. But basically, we should actually ask ourselves this question. Actually, what is happiness? What does it take, or what are the things that would actually make you happy in life? There are a lot of different philosophies. Some people say that, it's the journey in life that actually makes you happy. For me, that the thing that I always think is that as long as I'm being grateful with every single thing that I have around me, that's me being happy with my life. And some people, the video that I watched, the person is saying from research, all of the elderly people in the United States of America, they notice that the thing that really makes someone happy is the relationships they have built. Those people that they tend to live alone, they're introvert, they don't really have a lot of friends, or they don't have a lot of people that care about them. Ultimately, they won't feel as happy as those that actually have a lot of friends, they have caring family members, they have very good relationships. So yes, I think that there really are a lot of factors that could actually make your life happy. But I think that when it comes to this question, we should actually ask ourselves that do we look everything that we see or everything that happens to us, how do we see this thing? If we see it in a positive way, if we see it in one of the perspectives, then we can be happy, we can be grateful, we can be filled with abundance and saying that, wow, this thing that comes into my life, it's something, it's a gift that is being presented to me. But ultimately, if we change our mindset, if we change our perspective, and we are always complaining, not enough, this is not enough, that is not enough, then no matter what happens to you, even if, for example, someone just decides to give you, for example, someone decides to give you and belanja you a meal for free. If the first thing that pop out to your mind is like, wow, this person so long didn't find me, now suddenly want to yam chao with me, confirm doing insurance lah, gone. Then how are you going to be happy in life? In your mindset is like that. If you're so close into like this, you see things this way, you can't be happy. Even if let's say that he really come and he wants to, introduce you to insurance, why can't you change your perspective and say that, wow, hey, this friend actually remember me and he knows that insurance is important, so he wants to share this knowledge with me. So you see, when you change perspective like that, ultimately anything that happens to you, you can just be happy in life. As for me, it's not about the small things or about the big things. It's basically about every single thing that's happening right now in my life. Basically, even me talking to you right now, I'm actually feeling happy because I'm willing to, and I feel like, wow, it's a damn good sharing session. I enjoy it so much. So yes, I believe that for me personally, it's about the perspective to actually lead myself and appreciate so that I can actually have a happy life. How about you, bro?
Wow, that was a great one. Yeah, talking about perspective. Actually, last few weeks ago, I've just read this book. They were talking about perspective as well. It's actually called the paradigm shift, where you shift your perspective in the other person's way.
Correct. Correct.
So I think
Indeed.
it reminded me of that. Yeah, and what actually contribute really great to my happiness is delaying my gratification.
Yes.
Yeah, and and to me, I think that really plays a huge part lah, because we live in a world where we can get everything for instant. We can get everything like now, 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 now. Yeah, and actually by delaying my gratification, actually it like help me to reflect, like just like what you say, help me to reflect like on the things that I have, and everything that can work out. And also I think another thing for me is state of mind, because I agree that happiness is a state of mind. It's like what is happy to you, some people can be having 50 ringgit and be happy, and some people could be having 50 ringgit and not happy at all. So I think it's
Exactly.
also as well. I think it's like depends back to you, like how do you define happy? What is enough for you, and why?
Correct.
Yeah, and this also relates back to my first point, which is delaying gratification. Means that you delay all the things that you want now, and maybe sometimes few months later or few weeks later, you don't feel like having it anymore. And
Mm,
oh, actually I have this. Actually, it's enough already. Yeah, and I think that plays a
mm,
huge part, for making like contribute to my happiness. Yeah.
mm. That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any like helpful habits or daily routines that you do every day to keep you like
Oh, okay.
productive? Yeah.
Good question. Okay, daily helpful habits. Okay, here's a few things that I do. Definitely first is exercise.
Mm.
Be it any type of exercise.
Yeah.
Because of MCO, I can actually exercise with my mom and my sister. So
Mm.
sometimes with my dad as well. We go out for walks, jogging, or do YouTube, all those kind of workouts. We just do that.
Mm.
That's definitely great for the body, and it's a booster in the morning.
Yep.
And second thing that I do is actually they call it there is a specific breathing exercise. You know, if you want to learn about this, you can just go on YouTube, just type Tony Robbins breathing exercise. Then you will see that there is a YouTube video. Basically, they will lead you on, you actually breathe in and then you hold and then you breathe out with your mouth. So there's a specific way of breathing. They, in another term, they call it, what is the breathing called it now? I forgot, but there's actually a term for that kind of breathing. It's also basically it's invented by a guy. There's a guy that broke the world record by swimming or staying in like the very very cold water for a very long time. I forgot. Is it
Win Hof or something? Is it?
Yes. Wim Hof.
Win Hof,
But basically
something,
he's the guy that he's the guy that broke the record. And if you go watch his videos or listen to his method, basically he trains himself by doing this breathing. So it's that kind of breathing exercise. You can research or just go YouTube. You definitely search a thing or two. There's a type of breathing exercise.
Wow.
And lastly, the thing that I do, it's basically called priming. Okay, this is also taught and done by Tony Robbins as well. If you want to know how it works, go on YouTube and type Tony Robbins priming. And you actually see the whole process. It's not a long process. It only takes 16, 17 minutes. And what he does is actually, it takes you to actually bring yourself to a relaxed state. First thing, he actually asks you to breathe, to relax. Second thing, he'll guide you to actually be grateful on what are the things that happen in your life. You see, this is what actually reminds you that, hey, I'm happy about my life. And after that, he starts to actually, allow you to connect with, some people call it God, some people call it universe, basically a higher source. You connect with him, with the source from above, and you start to let your energy to flow. And you imagine that the energy flow through your body and your energy flow to the people around you. So the people around you, you see them feeling happy, feeling positive. And lastly, you will actually imagine, and actually, this is where the priming comes. You actually use your imagination to imagine that you have actually reached a goal that you wanted. For example, I have an exam coming up. So my goal is actually, when I actually open my laptop to check my results, I score an A, for example. So during this priming, you have to actually imagine the process like, okay, I woke up in the morning, open my laptop, then I see, okay, I got an A. So this is actually called priming. This whole process is called priming. So I believe that, Tony Robbins, he himself, he has taught this to millions of people. And definitely, no doubt, it's actually very, very beneficial for you to actually, bring yourself back into a relaxed state, to remind yourself about these three things and actually, prepare yourself so that you yourself can remember like, okay, I'm grateful and I'm sending my power and energy to other people. And also, what are my goals? And automatically, you will start to do your things to actually walk towards that goal. So these are the few daily habits that I actually do almost every single day, unless there is something special. Other than that, these are actually very, very good habits that, I will do my very best to actually maintain these habits. How about you, bro? Do you actually do any, I believe one is definitely reading, right?
Yeah, of course. Reading has been my daily habits for almost a year now. I've set reading 3 hours daily, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one before I go to bed. Yep. And other than that, meditation as well. Meditation in the morning. Yeah, but I use another technique. It's called the Vipassana meditation. It's founded by S.N. Goenka.
Yes.
Yeah, you can go and research. Yeah, you guys in the audience, can go. Yeah, Vipassana meditation by S.N. Goenka. Actually, I've been following all this meditation, and I do something like priming, but I don't call it priming. I call it visualization.
Yes.
And manifestation and stuff. Yeah. And actually, it's from a book. I learned this from a book called The Secret. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, The Secret. Yeah, it was because of it's actually like, law of attraction and stuff. I do believe it. Yeah. I do believe it. Yeah, I do believe it's true because whatever you think, you become.
Right.
Yeah, so every morning, and also praying. Praying is also one of my habits, sending my wish to anything to a higher force than me. Yeah, so I pray morning and night as usual, and then it's like, it's just like sending email, at night I send email to the higher force. In the morning, I check the email and receive the email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that kind of energy, I feel. Yeah. So I spent like an hour doing it. Yeah, all these like it's called like a daily routine lah. And oh yeah, one of my
Yes.
routine have is also waking up early. I've
Mm.
never in my life I've ever woken up early before. But since last
What?
year, yeah, since
Mm.
MCO, I feel like um there was a week or so, a week or 2 weeks I've been like being like very lazy, like just like staying at home, sleeping until 12 in the noon, 1 in the noon. And I feel like it's not fulfilled enough. It's not, how to say, it's not full. I feel quite empty, doing this every day. I feel like time goes by so fast and I don't appreciate time. Yeah.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it was also someone told me this. He said, hey Naveen, time is not important. Time is limited. When you understand time is limited, then you will know it's important. So I'm like, wow,
Yes.
wow, wow, all those like energy. I can feel that fire behind me and stuff. Yeah, and
Yes.
ever since
Mm.
I've been like waking up like as early as like 6:30, sometimes 7 in the morning. I will do all this like meditation, visualization, praying and stuff, because morning is the
Mm.
most peaceful time. Morning
Correct.
is, yeah,
Correct.
it's the most peaceful and no disturbance or something, so I can focus on myself.
Mm.
Then I'll start my day lah. Like as usual, I have online classes and all those. Yeah, and I also dance lah. So sometimes because I'm a dancer as well. Yeah, we both are dancer. So sometimes in the
Yeah.
evening I'll dance. Yeah, I'll dance a bit just to
Mm.
calm down the mind. Yeah, I think that's it. That's my like daily habit. Oh yeah, and forgot one more thing. Is
Mm.
every Sunday night
Mm.
I will set my own schedule for a week.
Mm. Hey, this is very
Yeah.
important. Yes.
So
Yes.
I
Indeed.
already
Indeed.
know,
Indeed.
yeah.
Indeed.
So I already know that what am I gonna accomplish in this week? Yeah, because usually I
Correct.
used to set daily goals. I used to set daily, what I'm
Mm.
gonna do tomorrow, what I'm gonna do tomorrow. But I found, for me, I'm not sure for you guys. For me, I find it very useless. It's not because of
Mm.
what, but I find it's I won't know what's coming ahead of me. I cannot see what's ahead.
Mm.
But if I set on a Sunday night, I can see like what's this week gonna look like, what I'll be doing and stuff. Yeah,
Mm.
and because of this habit, right, I've actually like getting more and more closer to where I want to be. I feel like the steps. I keep climbing the staircase, something like that. Yeah,
Mm.
and that habit actually changed my life, which is setting weekly goals instead of daily goals.
Mm.
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 When you
Indeed,
set,
bro.
yeah,
That's very, very good.
yeah, when you set weekly goals, you know what you'll be doing daily.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Damn,
yeah.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
very happy for you, bro. That's good. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I'll be doing, like, and that one is just once a week. It's just Sunday night. Before I go to bed, I'll spend like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Just reflecting on myself. What am I gonna do for the next week, and what can I improve from last week. So I just like feeling. Oh, I feel like I'm happy. I'm satisfied enough. Yeah, and let's do it.
Mm.
Yeah, and the most important thing, you must do it lah. Don't just simply set and then you don't do it.
Mm. Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah, there's
Correct.
there's no
No
point.
point.
There's no point.
Correct.
There's no point like
Mm.
sitting there for 30 minutes setting what you're gonna do for the week and you don't follow it. What's the point?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, right. Okay, I think let's move on. Do you have any regrets in your life? Like the moment that you really regret?
Regrets.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I do actually. I do. Uh. But as of now, I can only remember
Mm.
one of the regrets. Are there any others? Hold on, let me think. Um, Maybe as of now, no. But
Mm.
basically, one of the things that actually reminded me about having regrets is actually the main point is actually being living in the moment and actually building good relationships. Okay,
Mhm.
I think let me just say the scenario better lah, because this is the first thing that pops up to mind, because it's pretty, like, sometimes when I think back, I also feel like, why did I do that? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like kind of guilt, and at the same time
Mm.
I really regret my actions. But again, that's the thing. I know that, we shouldn't actually regret for the things we're doing. So because of that also, that's why it's a good thing that to always be very aware of, what we're actually doing, so that we can actually, live without regrets. Because if you're not sure what you're doing, very easily, yeah, lah, we'll tend to miss out some stuff, and in the end, regrets will form. But ultimately, what happened is, basically, I was with, I actually went to Taiwan with my dance teachers and my dance mates. It was actually one of the trips where we go there and we learn from international dancers, specifically Taiwan dancers. So what happened is, we were only there for a few days, and because this is actually a very rare opportunity, for the dance teachers and us students, we actually being together, go and travel in the country. And at that time, it was the last night of being there. So basically, because it was the last night of the trip, so we were thinking that, okay, why not all of us we just gather like in because we had to separate different rooms for in the homestay, so we all gathered in one room, and we decided that, why not, let's not sleep. Okay, but here's the thing that I did. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. I personally think that it's entirely, me not being aware about what's going on. So what happened is, because me and two of me, one friend and one teacher, before the other people came in, we were actually playing PUBG.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so shit, I think you know where this is going. So what happens is, because we were playing PUBG, when our friends and the other teachers, they actually came in and stuff, we were still playing and we were still stuck with the games. Because of that, ultimately they see that we are playing against. What happens is they also pick up their phones and we still start swiping away. So in the end, the whole night we barely talked, and all I did was just playing games and not interacting with anyone. So now looking back at that, I was like, damn, why? Oh my god, that could have been such a great chance to actually, build closer relationships, talk about stuff, maybe inspire each other, have a great talk, because we humans, we need to socialize. But the thing is, wow, now looking back, I was like, damn, that's really, technically it's kind of rude, and it's so in a way anti-social of me to actually do that. Like, I could have made use of the time to actually, build relationships, but in the end, I wasted my, in a way lah. I personally, I say that I wasted my time on playing the freaking video game. So now looking back at that, yes, that's indeed a very, very deep regret that I have. So that's why this is actually in my brain. So I always tell myself that, whenever there's any outing or whatsoever, I'll really do anything that I can to actually put down my and socialize, dude. Like, why just don't look at the phone, socialize,
Mm.
So what if it's awkward, talk and make it not awkward, So yeah,
Yeah.
this is one regret that I've had lah, and definitely I've learned my lesson from that. And because I can't go back time, now the teachers are doing their thing, the other students, they are now pursuing their stuff. So there's that regret on not being able to actually get to know them better. Yeah.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
How about you? Yeah.
I feel that, because that I think like the biggest distraction is this.
Mm.
This is the
Yeah,
biggest distraction
exactly,
in our
dude.
life nowadays. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a lot of things can be destroyed with just this.
exactly.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That was, but you could have played PUBG in Malaysia, right?
Yeah. Exactly, that's why. No, looking back, shit, I'm
Uh,
so dumb.
okay, if for me, I couldn't think of any regret,
Mm,
because I feel that, everything I do, it it it, it was done for a reason lah. You know,
correct.
I've always feel that, there's a greater force than me who have actually has planned for me, and whatever I choose
Mm,
is whatever it is. I just have to go with the flow. Yeah, because like every time when I meditate, this one I never tell to anyone, but we're just gonna share it. Yeah, every time when I meditate, I'm just like, oh, please guide me. Just whatever it is, just guide me, and I just do it. Yeah, and actually I search up. There's actually a term for this, which I didn't know. there's actually a term for this. It's called casting a burden. Yeah, it's like, you know, you're just like you're just like how to say like just ask the higher force to guide you. But
Yes,
but
yes.
but you need to be aware. Means like, you know, they sometimes people might offer you an opportunity, and you know you have to think about it lah, whether the choice is yours. Yeah, actually I researched, but it's called casting, but then it's really like, wow, that actually that's why I'm doing like all this, you know, like podcasts where I never thought of starting a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
I never thought of it. It just happens. Uh, yeah, and you know, basically
understand.
I feel like, you know, everything in life for me has a reason for it, and it was because of all those like choices that I made and everything, like that's why I'm here today. Yeah, I think so. Like,
Correct.
mm,
Correct.
yeah, and I think like if
Mm,
also like got any regrets, it will still be a lesson for me like instead of regret. It's like something that I can learn
correct.
from it. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So you know,
Like this.
basically, yeah, that's it. Yeah. All
Mm.
right. For example, today if there is a higher force than you know, come into you and say, "Hey, Aloy, I want to give you a chance to go back 3 years ago." What advice would you give yourself back then, 3 years ago? Only 3 years ago.
3 years, ah, damn. Okay,
Only
wait,
three
hold
years
on.
ago. Yeah.
Okay, 3 years
What
ago. Yeah, three
advice you
years
wanna
ago.
give yourself? Yeah.
3 years ago. Okay, 3 years ago I was 16. Hmm. 3 years ago. Okay. Uh, that's a good question. All right. If I were to be able to go back to 3 years ago and give myself an advice, definitely one thing is basically just be more aware and basically learn to appreciate more things. You know, this is one because I mean it's not that I don't appreciate, but it's just that at the time I haven't learned so many things at that time. So I was just living life like okay, whatever comes now, whatever goes and stuff. But I would say like, hey, you know, really be grateful with whatever you have now, any opportunities or anything that you get, you know. And also another thing is start to decide how to say like start to think about what I want in life. Because of course, if I actually know what I want in life, the earlier the better. Because so that I can actually have, you know, 3 years time is time.
Mm,
And if
yeah.
let's say if I imagine that 3 years ago I actually learned about these kind of stuff, you know, even if let's say for example 3 years ago if I actually prompted myself and actually started to learn how to invest, then even if I don't, cause maybe I don't have any money at that time, but let's say if my parents had the money, for example, if my dad has ETF, so if I actually learn how to invest at that time, 3 years ago, probably now the money has already grown a bit. So definitely time is money. So
Mm,
one of the things that also like,
that's funny.
you know, why not go ahead and start learning more things, you know, get yourself exposed to different things instead of, you know, of course there's nothing wrong
Mm,
enjoying school life because yes, school life is very enjoyable, but ultimately, you know, it's always great to spend some time to keep exploring about this kind of stuff. And also, I would say because during that time is my teenage years, so definitely there are a lot there will be mistakes made. So maybe another how to say another advice I would give to myself is, you know, just uh, don't take things too seriously or too personally. You know, everything happens for a reason. So change my perspective and change the way I look at things so that I can actually, you know, even if the experience isn't very pleasant, but at least I take it as a very, very good lesson and, you know, be grateful for it. But actually, you know, talking about that, now looking back at all so far, 19 years, actually not 19 years, I can't remember my like baby times lah. But basically,
mm,
throughout all of these years, until now, I would say that, you know, I'm really, really lucky to actually have this so-called life and all these opportunities happening to me. So again, you know, if yeah, another what do you call that? Another advice I would give to myself is, you know, just be patient and, you know, just relax and just be you. You know, just do what you want to do and what you decide to do. And, you know, just live life to the fullest. Yeah.
yeah. Nice. If it was me, I would just give myself one advice, only one.
Yeah.
Start reading.
Yes. Actually, basically, start learning. Yeah.
Yeah. I would imagine, right, if 3 years ago I would like, start reading like all these like books, all these like motivation books, right? I couldn't count how many books I would have finished by now.
Correct.
Yeah, and
I
like
agree.
it's almost been 1 year since the MCO, or since that I pick up a book and read, and I've read a lot of book, and those books have like really opened my mind and stuff. If there was one advice I would give myself 3 years back then, which is just take a book and start to read. That would just be my advice.
But,
Yeah. And one more thing,
mm,
so I will add one more thing, which is have fun with the process. The whole like growing
indeed.
up process. Just have fun with it. Yeah, just
Correct.
yeah.
But actually, honestly, right, I have to say, you are 18, right? Correct me if I'm wrong,
17. 17.
It's 17.
Yeah.
Oh, you're 17.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
17.
okay. Yeah, but in a way, I have to say this lah. Being at this age, like even at my age, us being able to being exposed to this kind of stuff, I have to say that it's really a blessing for both of us to actually start learning and start input, giving us these inputs about all of these good habits. So again, even if let's say that of course we could have learned earlier, but at least that if we decide, or the audience, you decide to actually start to do something and decide, and you actually want to live life the way you want yourself to live, then time doesn't matter. All it matters is you decide and you want to do it immediately. Because there could be some people, for example, for example, the person that created KFC, the Colonel Saunders, something like that. Yeah, same thing. He's so old already, but still, because of his decision that he wants to create a brand of his own fried chicken, he has been fighting for it. So again, age is just a number. Even if you can't turn back time, time is time. As long as now you actually get this opportunity, we actually get this opportunity to have the chance to be exposed to these things. So this is the time for us to start to take action and set our goals and really get the life that we want. And definitely, nothing else would actually matter.
Yeah, Aloy, I agree with you. So basically, you guys, if you're still listening until now, I would like to say thank you very much for listening. Yeah, and you guys could start something today. Maybe like a small habit will help. Like the small things such as meditating, reflecting on yourself, writing a journal, or just reading a book. It will help. And there's this saying that goes, if you don't make time to work on creating the life that you want, you're eventually going to be forced to spend a lot of time dealing with a life that you don't want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sam.
Right. And okay, guys, I would like to share one last thing before we end this podcast. It's also another story. So let me ask you, Aloy.
Yeah.
An apple seed grows up to be what? Grows up to be what?
Grows up to be an apple tree.
An apple tree, right?
Yeah.
A young boy grows up to be what?
A grown man?
No. A young boy grows up to be a chooser.
Oh, a chooser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, an apple seed, they don't have any choice. They can only grow to be an apple tree. But a young boy, when they grow up, they can choose anything they want to be. So if today,
I agree.
So starting from today, you can choose whatever you want to be. It's just that the decision whether it's just that the decision where you want to make it or not. Do you really want this? Do you really want to sacrifice this? Yeah. And yeah, I think that's my short story, my opening story.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good story.
Yeah. And I think we have been talking for almost like 1 hour. 1 hour plus. Yeah, I think it's a great one. And yeah, I think that's it for this episode. Hey, thank you, Aloy, for being our guest. And yeah, I hope that the audience, you know, can benefit a lot from us, because yeah, we have shared a lot of our lessons and stuff. And basically, you know, we are still young, we are still below 20s. You know, who knows, maybe 10 years later, you know, we can share back, we can reflect on this video again, and you know, just look like, oh, I've said that 10 years ago. Yeah. And guys, hope you guys enjoy it, and you know, subscribe, share, and yeah, guys, see you guys in the next episode.